welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius. I am Sagittarius myself, so welcome my brothers and sisters. But before we get into it, just reminding you all, I'm giving away the Love Oracle card deck from the Island Time Wellness Company off of Etsy for Valentine's Day. And in order to be in the winning, you have to be subscribed and you have to leave me a comment. That's all. Just simply be subscribed and leave me a comment. If you leave me a comment on the day, I'm going to pick out the winners from the subscribers. So I have a program that will pick at random a subscriber, and depending on the comment, making sure that you've commented that you want to be in the running, a random person will be picked, okay? So let's get right into it, my lovely Sagittarius. Let's see what your week, February 8th to the 14th, looks like for you, my lovelies. And we can pull out your 3 oracle cards like we always do for the weeklies. Then we'll get into your animal spirits, and we'll go from there into your forecast. All right, guys? All right, Sagittarius, your first card is karmic relationship. So a relationship that really is full of a lot of codependency, turmoil, resentment, a constant back and forth. Heart with the key, giving your heart to someone. Heart with the key is interesting because it really implies also that, you know, your heart is not easily given away, right? It is, for the most part, locked away, right? For the right, person or the right union. And so giving your heart or opening your heart with the key to someone is really extra special, right? It's just even more opening up than you normally would. I like you, Sagittarius. I like you. Somebody wants to let you know that they like you. Perhaps you want to let somebody know that you like them. I like that, you know, because it's really sort of, it's one of the reasons why I really love these oracle cards, because they're really, in a lot of ways, they're simple. And in a lot of ways, they really encompass all different kinds of relationships, right? Sometimes you just like somebody, you know? Just like, you know, I'm into you. It's not a big time soulmate thing. It's not a big time twin flame journey. And all of this heavy shit. It's just, hey, I like you. You like me, maybe? You know, let's go have coffee. Let's go enjoy some time together. All right, without this kind of like desperation that seems to be around nowadays, where everybody seems to be so desperate to be in this kind of intense twin flame journey. Honestly, a true twin flame journey might come along once in a lifetime, twice if you're extremely lucky. All right, guys, so let's get right into it, Sagittarius. Your animal spirit, cheetah. I love this animal spirit. It's one of the ones that comes out for you a lot, Sagittarius. The gazelle, more fire, lots of fire. And the fish, wow. Water energy. The fish is a slippery character. All right. Interesting. All right, guys, let's get right into it. The cheetah is a fire animal spirit, and the spirit of the cheetah is there whenever you are trying to achieve the impossible, almost, right? It's like, you know, the cheetah is associated with very strong masculine solar energy. Really, in a lot of ways, it's almost like the sun is radiating out from the cheetah. That's how forceful and positive the spirit of the cheetah is. This is someone who's not going to be stopped, right? Their driving force forward is so powerful. They just won't be stopped. If you've ever met somebody who's resonating with the spirit of the cheetah, they will be the type of person who's always on the move or on the go, always sort of doing something to further their goal or further their purpose or their vision, right? It's very much like feels very much like a King of Wands in action, and like full forward action, right? Being around people like this is very, very inspiring. These are the type of people, generally, whether they're famous or not famous, they might just be a friend in your social group, or what have you, someone you know of, maybe even at work, but something about the way they attack things in life and the way they manifest things, they just inspire you. They give you the feeling that you can also sort of achieve the impossible. Now the gazelle, interesting animal spirit. The spirit of the gazelle is there when we need to be extra special, extra especially careful, when we need to be extra specially aware, right? This is a fire elemental animal spirit again, but the gazelle is always alert, you know, always watching out, always looking out for its safety, right? It has to. It is prey for predators, right? And so prey creatures need to constantly watch out, be vigilant. You know, this is the spirit of the gazelle comes into our lives when, you know, there may be a lot of energies or forces around us that are sort of maybe a little underhanded. You know, they may be coming out of nowhere. They may be working in the shadows. You know, surprises are coming up. The gazelle is watchful for all that. Of course, the gazelle very much embodies beauty and motion. We know this about the animal in the wild. So there's also this kind of this elegance and beauty that is there when the spirit of the gazelle is around. It's like you carry yourself with this real kind of grace, you know, graceful sort of beauty, but you're in motion the whole time. You're moving. You're still very fiery, right? And so part of that whole caution and being careful and being alert is also part of the way you're just moving through life in this very sort of graceful yet powerful way. Now the fish. The fish. The fish is a slippery character, right? Water element, of course, but the fish is the type of animal spirit that just, it kind of is, you know, it's all about letting the current take it. You know, the fish really succumbs to the currents of life, you know, really gets caught up in the currents of life. The next exciting thing. Very different to the moth, right? Now the moth, animal spirit, it's air element, which is different, of course, and it's attracted to sort of shininess and the grass is greener on the other side sort of attitude. The fish is just generally caught up. It just gets caught up in the current, you know. What happens, though, is that it never sort of commits to anything. It never sticks around long enough to develop anything, to establish anything, right? This is the person who just moves around. You know, they always have ideas. They never fulfill them. You know, I knew somebody like that once. I was friends with someone like that who was like, you know, they were very sort of, on the surface, it was all about the adventure of life and everything you talk to them about, you know, let's do this or every idea, you know, they were just so excited about it. But they never put any effort into actually sort of sticking with one idea long enough to develop it, or sticking with one sort of circumstance long enough to do anything with it. It was just constantly, this person would just get caught up in the excitement. In the end, what happens with fish and the spirit, people who resonate with the spirit of the fish, is that they have very slippery relationships. They have very fleeting relationships. All of their relationships are temporary. There's no longevity. There's no sort of, there's no real sort of bond that gets developed with anyone. As soon as any kind of bond starts up, this person is up and gone. Be very careful with somebody who resonates with this energy in your life, Sagittarius. I mean, you know, if somebody is resonating, if you're resonating a little bit with this energy, just be aware that not standing still, not putting the effort into the moment and into actually sort of developing and establishing a bond is eventually only going to lead to sort of loneliness, right? If you're dealing with somebody who is like this, you know, just be ready, because this is the type of person who will ghost you. This is the type of person who will let you down. This is the type of person who you simply cannot depend on, no matter how excited they sound about what they want to do or how they want to be a part of your life, your project, your world, whatever. This person is never going to step to the table. You know, they're never going to make it happen, as it were. All right, guys, let's pull out your spreads for the week. Lovely Sagittarius, and see what your week is like. Six of Swords, there's your leaving. Knight of Wands and Chariot. Well, there's your motion right there. Let's move this all up a little bit. All right, Six of Swords is movement, right? It's moving away. It's moving away from environments and people that no longer sort of suit you. It's moving away from an environment that is not in line with your mentality. You know what I mean? If you were raised in a certain social setting, for instance, say you were raised like, you know, say you're raised in the ghetto. You just don't want to be around ghetto-minded people. Say you were raised in a very affluent community. You came from really affluent family who has a lot of money, but their whole mentality is very surface and very sort of conniving. You know, you don't want to be around that mentality. You know, it's all about the mentality of people, or the type of environment that you're in, and whether or not that environment jives with who you are. It's not a value. It's not deciding who's better than the next, right? But it's just this decision that where you're at right now, it's like, you know what? I need to get away from that. I need to get away from these people. I need to get away from this environment. It's like there's constantly arguing, or there's constantly angst and negativity. Feels very much like a karmic relationship, in a sense that, you know, somebody's always triggering somebody else. Nothing ever works in harmony. And Six of Swords is an intention to get away from that. Some of you may actually be moving. You may be changing jobs, you may be moving apartments, or making that decision to move, to physically move away from where you're at. In any case, this is the feeling you have coming into this week. You've had enough and you're really sort of turning your back and moving away. Knight of Wands comes in. And this is interesting because Knight of Wands, again, I said earlier, the cheetah reminds me of the King of Wands emotion. Well, Knight of Wands is very close to that. Again, very much that fire in motion. The Knight of Wands is, again, someone who's very awe-inspiring, because they're just so, like, on the move, you know, but not on the move like the fish. Not on the move in a sense that they never stand still long enough. They follow their passions and their heart. They don't allow sort of the currents to drag them, or life to let them sort of pulls them along. They follow their heart or their passion, which is generally single-minded and a focus. You know, if you follow your own passion, that is still a focus. In any case, this Knight of Wands comes into your life, Sagittarius, and I think it really inspires you, very much like the cheetah. It inspires you. This person inspires you in some way. It could be that they are also sort of supportive of what you're doing, right? The action that you're taking. You're clearly moving towards a more harmonious sort of place in your life. This person is going to be someone that you can talk to very well, very easily, Sagittarius. They're fiery, but yet they're very sort of airy also. Knights are always air. So Knight of Wands is the airy aspect of fire. So you have somebody who can communicate very well. You know, they can communicate their vision very well. They're very excited. They're generally very enthusiastic and motivational. And you round your week off with a definite plan for the future. Right? So some of you have decided to move, to get on with your life. And by the end of this week, the plan for your future is very well set. You know you're about to enter into a new stage in your life. And I think a lot of that inspiration has come from this Knight of Wands. Right? This person who's come in. I'm going to say this person, whatever it is that they are sort of about, is something that's very much in line with you as well. They may have the same passions, or they may have the same interests in art, or in, you know, particular areas of life that you guys can sort of relate to, I want to say. You can relate to each other very well, right? And so because you're able to relate to them, they're able to relate to you, they really help you solidify this plan for your future. It's very nice. Six of Wands, Two of Cups, Eight of Cups. Wow. Six of Wands talks about a victory. So Sagittarius, some of you coming into this week with a real public victory. This could be just a victory that you have, in the sense that you may have achieved something that you set out to achieve, and everybody sees you're doing it. It could actually be a victory in the sense that, you know, you may have gotten that promotion at work, or you may have, you know, achieved that goal in your business, or what have you, right? It's a public victory. So it's the type of victory that everybody sees and notices, right? And it can also just be something, you know, you say, you may have told your social group or your friends, you say, look, I'm going to do this, right? This is my goal. I'm going to accomplish it. And lo and behold, you're accomplishing it, and everybody is seeing it. And so in this way, with the Six of Wands, it's almost like you are the one resonating with cheetah energy. If you're If this reading, if this forecast is for you, Sagittarius, the Six of Wands is a real feeling of you having resonated with the spirit of the cheetah and people around you seeing you manifest these goals. Definitely feels like a victory. You coming into the week with that, you have a Two of Cups, so there's someone who wants to have a love connection with you, but I'm not sure if you're there for it. All right, I think this Two of Cups may be somebody who's coming back into you, who wants to make this connection with you again after seeing you have this sort of victory, but you're not there. Eight of Cups, you're like, no, I'm not there for it. I'm not there for any kind of relationships that remain sort of on that level where I'm pouring my heart into it and they're not giving me anything in return. Two of Cups generally is a union or a connection that is very balanced, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's happening here. It's just the intention. It could very well be. I feel like this person is coming into you because to them they feel like this is a perfect union because they see you having this victory, and I feel like they almost you know, are kind of living vicariously through you. They kind of see you as a sort of a mirror of themselves, right? And I think in their minds, they feel like this is a perfect union, you know? Almost this feeling like an example could be an ex that, you know, where before it was very rocky, it didn't work out. Now that you're doing all of the things that you said you would, or certainly achieving, you know, at least one of the things you said you would achieve with this cheetah energy, you're really sort of being very publicly like you are winning, right? Publicly you're winning. Even just being successful, even just slowly getting success coming in, that's a win that people around you can see. And it's like this person who's like, well, you know, this feeling of like, well, they may not have been there for you before. The relationship didn't work out when you were struggling, but now that you're winning, now that you're succeeding, it's like they're like, oh, well, of course, you know, I need my Sagittarius. You know, I'm going to go in from, they're the perfect mate for me. You know, it's like they see you as a reflection of themselves. And a lot of it has to do, I feel like, with them wanting to sort of feel your victory, you know, vicariously by being attached to you somehow, right? So they come back in with this idea of like, well, you know, we're really made for each other and forget about what happened in the past. You know, you're my perfect mate and I'm your perfect mate. And there is just a really kind of underhanded, sick feeling though with this. Like it's not really genuine. It's more to do with how you reflect on them. They want to have a bit of your juice, a bit of your energy, and you say no. Just like that, Sagittarius, you say Eight of Cups, nah, I'm not there for it. You know, I'm not, you know, whatever happened in the past happened in the past. I'm doing pretty well on my own right now. I'm having my own victory right now, and I'm not prepared to continue in this karmic relationship. Sorry about that. My camera just cut out real quick. But just to finish that off, yes, that Eight of Cups is all about you really deciding that you're not going to put up with any of this karmic relationship type energy. And like I said, although Two of Cups generally is a very balanced love that comes together, this is more a feeling of somebody thinking this love is this way, but it's not really. This connection really isn't as balanced as they would pretend it is. All right, Four of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, and Queen of Swords. This is your last spread, Sagittarius. We have here also a feeling of your finances sort of like being threatened. So Sagittarius, some of you are coming into this week just worried about money. I think you're going through a lot of up and downs with your financial situation, maybe your career or business. I remember that a lot of Sagittarius are doing very well this year. You're having a lot of abundance and rewards and success coming in this year, but that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be up and downs. And I think this week you just got a lot more sort of anxiety about it. You have a lot more sort of worry about finances. Is everything going to work out? Are you going to have the money? And so this week you're also interesting. You come into this week with this worry and you're met with a lot of ups and downs, you know, a lot of sort of one day to the next, you may have money coming in and then suddenly you may have a lot of expenses to deal with. And it just seems to be a real up and down right now. But I'm going to say to you, this is just a balancing out. This worry is not necessarily based on fact. And this Two of Pentacles happens anytime we are changing careers or opening a business, or, you know, anytime we're doing something important in the material world that eventually is going to bring us financial stability or financial abundance. There's going to be times where it's very chaotic. There's going to be times when, you know, the money is up and down. There's a lot of changes coming back and forth, you know, and it's not always going to be even keel. Certainly if you're dealing with a new business that you're running or a new career that you've just started, the path will be rocky, but eventually, like I said, this will even out. By the end of the week, you have a Queen of Swords. It's interesting. You round the week off with Queen of Swords, and that's a real sense of confidence. You know who you are. And you're being very honest, I want to say. I think also you're requiring people around you also to be extremely honest. There's something to do with this financial upheaval that is really impacting your sense of self or the way you see yourself. And could very well be that as a result of all of these changes that you're going through, this up and down. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. And again, the sirens are on outside. It's like, you know, it's like Escape from New York around here. But what I mean to say is that it's interesting because it feels very much like this desire to be who you are, to be very honest with yourself, and to require people around you to be extremely honest if they're going to deal with you, seems to be impacted by these changes you've gone through. It could be that some of this chaos, financial chaos, is because somebody hasn't been honest with you, right? It can be that because maybe you haven't been honest with yourself about what you really truly desire, what you really want as far as your business or your career is concerned. It could be that you're playing a bit of a role, right? You might be, or you may have been playing a little bit of a role with regard to all of this, and that's what's, you know, had a knock-on effect on some of the chaos and the confusion. In any case, I think you realize by the end of the week, Sagittarius, that the best way to get through this kind of difficult financial or business period in your life, career period in your life, is to be extremely honest with who you are, what you desire, the type of person you are, understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, and not sort of lying to yourself about that. You know, we have to be honest with ourselves about these types of things. And that's what the Queen of Wands excels at. She excels at being extremely honest with herself on who she is, what she can do, and also requiring it, like I said, from everyone else around her. All right, Sagittarius, this is your reading, February 8th to the 14th. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to be in the running for the Love Oracle card deck, Island Time Wellness deck that I found on Etsy. Lovely, lovely deck that I'm using now in my readings. Just leave me a comment, okay? Be subscribed. If you're not subscribed, on Valentine's Day, I'm going to be choosing the winner at random. And when I choose the winner, I'm going to check to see if they're subscribed and if they've left me a comment. If they haven't left me a comment, if they're not subscribed, you can't be in the running, and I will move on to the next random name that I pick. All right, guys? So for right now, have a wonderful, wonderful week, my brothers and sisters, my lovely Sagittarians, and I will see you next week for your weekly. Bye-bye now.